Good morning. Good morning from Chicago, Northwestern University, Kellogg School of Management, where I am doing a course, an executive course on the soul of leadership. I've been coming here for 14 years, and so today my course starts again for the next 2.5 days. So I will be starting later today. I thought I would answer your question today before I started my course. The questions are coming in from readers of You Are the Universe, Discovering Your Cosmic Self and Why It Matters. I thank you for supporting this book, which I co-wrote with Menas Kafatos, who's a quantum physicist and a astrophysicist as well, and a climate change expert. Today's question is from Mu'tasim Ibrahim. Mu'tasim Ibrahim says, first of all, I would like to thank you for the contributions you have made to humanity. Well, thank you, Mu'tasim. And then he says, my question is, how can a person live in a way that is surrender to now? How can one surrender to now in a life full of choices? In other words, how can I make a balance between surrender to now and choices in my life? With warm regards, Mu'tasim Ibrahim. So, let me ask you, Mu'tasim, first of all, have you ever known anything other than now? Have you ever experienced anything other than now? Even when you think about the future, that is a thought which is now. When you think about the past, that is a thought which is now. But as an actual experience, can you live in the past or in the future? I'm asking you this question very sincerely. As an actual experience, can you live in the past or the future? Because what we call the past is in imagination as a thought now. What we call the future is in imagination as a thought now. So even as you have the thought of the past and the future, it is now. I really want you to understand this, because if you do, you'll be free. Now is not a moment in time. If it was, you'd see a now, and then another now, and then another now. Do you experience a succession of nows, or do you only experience now? Is now something that is born in time and then dies in time, right? So there is only now, and now is the awareness that we call being. Now is the experience that we call I exist. Now is the experience that we call I am. Similarly, here is not a location in space. Here is not a location in space. I am here. Just try to understand that statement. I am here. When we say I, we are not referring to the body, mind, and this location. When we say I, we refer to the awareness in which the body, mind, and what I call this location is an experience. I'll repeat that. That which we call I, the experiencer, is an awareness, in which the body, mind, and this location is an experience. But I, the awareness in which this is an experience, has no form. And because it has no form, it can't have a location in space either. So I, which is the awareness, which is now, and I, which is the experience here, has no location in space and time. And having no location in space and time, it is timelessly now. And Mu'tasim, you have no choice but to be in it. If I asked you to be tomorrow, or be last year, or be next year, you can't be except now here. And now here is the timeless awareness, which because of the continuity of experience which is bubbling up eternally now, we create the concept of time. We create the concept of time. Therefore, time is a concept. Time is a concept. There is only timeless now. And timeless now is being. A thought fools you into the construct of time. In fact, the great Indian teacher, Krishnamurti, would say that time is the movement of thought. That's all it is. And thought, of course, is a modified form of consciousness itself. So when thought arises, it creates a subject-object split, and then thought creates time as a concept. But time actually doesn't exist. However, I haven't still answered your question about how can I balance between surrender to now and the choices in my life. And I'll do that in a construct called 15 seconds. Goddess just said thought comes from emotions. Actually, thoughts and emotions are entangled. They are both modified forms of consciousness. Thought is an interpretation of experience, but it's also something that divides awareness into subject and object, because that's how experience occurs. Awareness knows itself as both the subject and object of experience. Okay, so Mu'tasim Abraham's question needs to be addressed. How can I make a balance between surrender to now and choices in my life? So, choice can occur at many levels. At a very subtle level, which is called sankalpa. Or choice can be at the level of speech, what you choose to say. Or choice can be at the level of action, what you choose to do right now. So in Sanskrit, by the way, there are 4 levels of choice or intention or thought, because choice is a thought, right? They are called para, pashyanti, madhyama, vekhari. Para is unmanifest choice, but it's still there. Okay? It's still there. Para, pashyanti, subtle intention, similar to sankalpa. Madhyama, thought, speech, vekhari, action. That's the sequence, unmanifest to manifest. Now, having been brought up in a culture where action is deemed the most important thing, doing, thinking, speaking, one doesn't realize that compulsive doing, compulsive speaking, and compulsive thinking and obsessive thinking about something can lead to what we call addictive behavior. So the range of human experience is between 2 extremes. One is addiction, and the other is choiceless awareness. So better than addiction is attachment. A little better than attachment is preference. A little better than preference is intention. A little better than intention is subtle intention or sankalp. And supreme above all is choiceless awareness. This is the range. In choiceless awareness, you are basically allowing the universal intelligence to unfold through you. And that is the highest level of being. And over here there is spontaneous right action, spontaneous right intention, which is based on intuition, where there is no anticipation, where there is no regret, where there is no resistance, where there is just this moment and you flow with the moment. And this is also in Sanskrit called ritam bhara pragya. Your consciousness and universal consciousness are one, and you flow with the elements and forces of the universe acting spontaneously through you. Spontaneous right action, spontaneous right intention, intuitive thinking, and the state of flow. This would be the highest. This would be also resulting in the richness of experience which is otherwise obscured with thought. This would give you as close an experience of timelessness and effortlessness, and it would be living in joy. So this is something that you need to be grounded in. It's also called ritam bhara pragya. Established in the rhythms of the cosmos, I flow. Or yogast kuru karmani, established in yoga, in being, in source, I take action. So this would be joyful living. Otherwise, so many choices, so many distractions, so many stresses that come. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I choose this? Should I choose that? So start to actually feel your body and go with sensations that produce joy in the moment. Start to be grounded in being and timeless awareness, and go with the spontaneity of whatever at a very subtle level feels joyful, loving, compassionate, that gives you a sense of beauty, harmony, love, truth, goodness, and flow. And then you will make all the difference in the world, because your presence will be enough to make a difference. Presence is spirit, obscured usually by thought, by feeling, by imagination, and by distraction. I hope that answers your question. Take care.